All right, good afternoon, everyone. We're going to go ahead and get started. Is everyone able to hear me? I
Yes.
think so. All right, thank you. This is the State Expedited Accusations calendar in the State Court of Fulton County, Georgia. I am Judge Melanie Williams, and today we will set first appearance bonds for those individuals who have been recently arrested or the cases have already been formally accused and bound over to state court. All defendants, you have an absolute right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You also have the right to an attorney at this proceeding. This particular proceeding is being broadcast over the internet as a live stream. It's also being recorded. That means any member of the public can log on and watch. When I ask if you understand your rights, that's what I am referring to. If you receive a signature bond, whether through pretrial or through the jail, you will be reset for the notice. Those who receive a surety or cash bond, Miss Bridgewater, what is my reset date?
January the 25th, Your Honor.
All right. Those who receive a surety or cash bond today will be reset to state all purpose on January the 25th, whereby aspects of your bond may be revisited or your case in its entirety. I saw your chat, Miss Kim. You have not had the opportunity to interview your clients. I see Miss Chancey is on the line. Miss Chancey, can you raise your right hand? Please state your name for the record. Okay, she's trying.
Thank you, Your Honor. My name is Adriana Chansey.
All right, Ms. Chancey, do you swear and affirm that today you will make an accurate translation from English to Spanish, Spanish to English to the best of your skills, knowledge, and ability?
Yes, Your Honor, I do.
All right, thank you. You'll be under oath for the entire proceeding today. Is the person
Thank
that
you.
Ms. Kim needs to interview at a different courtroom?
They're about to log on right now, Your Honor.
Wonderful, thank you. Have all other defense attorneys had the opportunity to interview their clients? I'm gonna assume so because no one has sounded out to say that they haven't. All right, who do we have at courtroom two?
This is going to be position number 13, Mr. Kevin Peters.
All right, good afternoon, Mr. Peters. Your case number is 24 CR 00300, I'm sorry, 302G. And oh, we need to do this one last. My
Yes, I
apologies.
was about
No,
to.
Your Honor, we need to do him first.
Can you clear the courtroom?
I
Because
sure.
Or actually, I also have a waiver of appearance for him. So if he
he
has,
can be removed and he's waived his appearance, so we can do him at the end. We can take his case and you can have him taken back if you'd
Well,
like.
I'll have him taken back just for security purposes.
okay.
Okay, I understand, but yeah, we can't do his case yet. Thank you. All right, who do we have next? And please mute your screen if you're not speaking. Someone is giving us feedback. Thank you.
Next, this is going to be position number 4, Ms. Green.
All right, thank you, Ms. Green. Your case is 24 CR 000-307C. You're charged with battery family violence. You understand your rights?
You got to say something.
All right, thank you. Ms. Jackson, I see you on the line. Good afternoon and Happy New Year. Can I please have this history for position 4?
Good afternoon, Judge. She has 3 cycles. The last arrest was August the 16th, 2021, and that was in Fulton County. That case appeared to be still pending. That case number is 22 SC 180633. She does appear to meet the criteria for UJR at level 2, with an 84% chance of appearing for court and a 71% chance of remaining arrest-free. Nothing in addition.
I'm sorry, the open case, what was the charge? Ms. Jackson?
Aggravated assault.
Okay.
Good
All right,
afternoon,
thank
Your
you. Good afternoon, Mr. Walker. Happy New Year. Good to
Happy
see
New
you.
Year.
Please
Good to see you
proceed.
too. Law enforcement was dispatched to 1314 Donnelly Hollowell Parkway, where they met with the victim, Ms. Calandra Becks. To my understanding, that is the aunt of the victim. They all resided at that location. The defendant tried to attack the victim's daughter, who was 8 months pregnant at that time. The victim stepped in between the two of them, and at that time, the defendant then punched the victim in the head, resulting in visible bruising. The state is seeking a $2,000 surety bond, no contact with the victim. From my understanding, the victim has moved from that location. We are also asking for no weapons, drugs, or alcohol while out on bond, and I would sign for the victim, Ms. Calandra Beggs.
Okay, in light of the fact the victim's move, you're not asking for a stay away, correct?
Yes, just no contact. And I see
All right.
his iPhone on.
All right, Ms. Beggs, if you'd like to make a statement, please unmute your screen and raise your right hand. You are not required to if you do not wish to make a statement, however. Okay, I'm gonna assume that Ms. Beggs does not wish to make a statement after having properly sounded. Ms. Atai, same to you. Happy New Year. Please proceed.
Your
I
Honor.
do. I could not unmute. I'm sorry. I'm
All
sorry.
right, you need to turn on your camera then and
Okay.
raise your right hand.
Just one moment. I'm going to get my camera on. Okay. Maybe turn it around so you can see me. It's going the wrong way. How do I turn this around?
I'm
Okay.
not there with you, so I don't know.
No. I was speaking to someone else here. Okay. Now it's still not on. I need to raise my right hand so that they can see me. Do you see? Are you able to see me now?
We are not. We saw something for a brief moment and then it went back to just a blank screen.
Okay, this is me. It's in my right hand.
All right. Do you swear and affirm the testimony you give today will be the truth to the best of your knowledge under the penalty of perjury?
Yes, I do.
All right. What I'm most interested and concerned with today is any concerns you may have for your safety and desires for contact that you may have with the defendant. If you disagree with anything Mr. Walker said, that's not of critical importance today because this is a bond hearing. You will have a chance to make a more thorough statement at a later date. And she is entitled to a bond as this is a misdemeanor offense, Ms. Beggs. So in
Yeah.
light of those instructions, what would you like to tell me?
I do feel unsafe there, unsafe. But my sister resides in her care as basically an invalid. Takara has a history of violence. She not only attacked me, but she physically pulled a weapon on me. She pulled a gun. She's not learning a lesson. She laughed about it and said, "I'll make bun." It's way past just a family simple dispute. She physically attacked me. Like I mean, she had no regard for me at all. I'm talking to her as calmly as I'm speaking to you, telling her this is not necessary. Let's not do this. I showed the police text message between her and I earlier in the day. About 5 o'clock, I texted her and told her I was getting ready to leave the apartment, but being that my sister does not walk, she could not lock her door. So I said, well, you need to come home to secure your door, Takara, so I can leave. She made it out to be as if we were resisting leaving her home is the reason why she attacked us. She followed me from her house to outside.
Okay, so it's fair to say you wish to have no contact with her and you do have some concerns for your safety.
I have some concerns for my sister's safety as well.
And you no longer reside at that address on Hollowell. You've left that location.
Yes, ma'am. I was only visiting. Yes, ma'am. I did not
Okay.
live there.
Okay, understood. I appreciate you coming to court making that statement, Ms. Specs.
Thank you.
All right, Mr. Ty, please proceed.
Yes, Your Honor. My client's sister was also there during the incident, Jerica Green, and she did join the call and wishes to make a statement.
I'm only going to hear from the victim today, so please proceed, Mr. Ty.
All right. Okay, my client is 23 years old. She has 2 children, ages 3 and 4. She lives with them and also lives with her mother, who, as you heard, is bedbound and needs 24-hour care. My client cares for her mother and children all day, and she works full-time as a medical assistant at Emory Healthcare in the evenings. Of course, no stay away is necessary, and she's fine with no further contact with the complaining witness. She's also in school right now to become a nurse. I do understand that she has this open case. I believe it was in diversion, and she did complete everything that she needed to for that. And her sister tells me, I mean, that charge was her sister is the victim in that case, and she withdrew from the case and didn't want to pursue anything against her sister. So I am asking for a signature bond through pretrial services level 1. My client needs to get back to caring for her young children and her mother, who is reliant on her care full time, and nothing
All right.
further.
And Your Honor, I'm sorry, but I have to briefly.
You already know, Mr. Walker, I am
Briefly,
very,
I just have to make some things plain. Her sister is
very,
the victim of aggravated assault, as Mr. Ty stated. That's an issue because the case is still open. I don't know how a victim can withdraw from a case. There's no such thing. I've checked the bond conditions. It says that she's to have no contact with Miss Jerica Green. She just stated that Miss Green was there and residing there, and she's supposed to stay 200 yards from the residence of Miss Green. So
No,
that
Miss Green doesn't live there.
well, okay, that's what you said earlier, but nonetheless, you
No.
stated that she was there, and she's supposed to be 200 yards from Miss Green at all times. And I think you said Miss Green was on the line, so that's all problematic. It speaks to the defendant's propensity of not abiding by a court's order. And with that being said, the state is modifying its request to a $2,000 cash fine. Again, that's an open aggravated assault that Miss Green is the victim of, and she was present for the assault, where the defendant is alleged to pull a gun on the victim in this case. All very troubling facts. That's all.
all right. All right, we're going to accept the state's original recommendation, not the amended one. Defendant will receive a $2,000 surety bond. She's to have no contact with the alleged victim, last name Bex. She is to have no alcohol, drugs, or weapons. And she will be reset to state all purpose on the 25th of January. Is there anything additional?
No.
All right, best of luck to you, Ms. Green. That concludes your case. Who do we have next?
We're gonna go to position number 3, Your Honor, Mr. Justin Gray.
All right. All right, Mr. Gray, your case is 24 CR 00306F. I'm sorry, 3006F. I don't know. I'm struggling with these 24s. In this case, you're charged with battery family violence with the offense date of January the 1st. You understand your rights?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Ms. Jackson, can I have his history, please?
He has 19 cycles. The last arrest was December the 22nd, 2023. And I'm sorry. I'm sorry. The last arrest was December the 22nd, 2023 in Powder Springs, Georgia, for a failure to appear. He does have prior misdemeanor convictions and sentences. It's one in 2022 out of Coweta County for the violation of a limited permit. And there was one in 2020. He received a nolo contendere sentence for out of Coweta County for driving while license suspended or revoked. And there was one in 2012 out of Texas for a protection order violation. There was one in 2010 out of Texas for assault. He does appear to meet the criteria for a UJR at level 3 with a 79% chance of appearing for court and a 65% chance of remaining arrest-free. Nothing in addition, Your Honor.
Thank you. Can we put Ms. Kim into the breakout with Ms. Chancey in courtroom 3, please? And this is not your case, is it, Ms. Kim? No. Okay, Ms. Kim is gone, so hopefully that's not her case. All right, please proceed, Mr. Walker.
Yes, in this case, law enforcement was dispatched to 4206 Fortune Point in South Fulton, where they spoke to the victim, Miss Angelique. I will spell her last name Agbayewa, where she advised that the defendant and her were engaged in a domestic dispute, at which time it became physical, where he punched her several times and threw her to the ground. We have had contact with her. It's my understanding that they have 2 children together. So there are concerns of safety. The state is asking for a $2,500 surety bond, no contact with the victim, and stay away from the incident location, and no weapons, drugs, or alcohol while out on bond. And I do believe Miss Angelique is on the line, so we would sell for her.
All right. If Miss Angelique, is it Abegawaya? I apologize if I'm saying it incorrectly. If you are present, I see you on the screen. You're not required to make a statement, but if you wish to do so, we need you to turn on your camera and please raise your right hand.
Can you see?
We cannot.
Well, it's not giving me access to, let's see, start video.
We see you on, I see two devices. I see a different device lighting up than the one that has your name.
Yeah, I
Are
couldn't
you
hear
on
from
the
that
Zoom?
one. I'm on
Are you on the
236.
Zoom? Okay. All right. Are you able to turn your camera on? We need to see you.
I'm trying to, but I have to go to my settings.
All right. We do need you to move as quickly as you can to figure that out.
Okay, well, I don't have access to allow camera access.
Why
So
don't you drop off of the Zoom conference and then try to come back in? Okay. And
okay.
in the meantime, we will go to Mr. Ty.
Yes, Your Honor. My client is 34 years old. He is the father of two children, 1 and 3 years old. He's lived in Georgia over 5 years. He's a high school graduate and an Army veteran. He runs a flooring business here in Atlanta. I was able to speak with the complaining witness, who states that she would like him to return to the home, and their issues have been resolved. And this happened January 1st. My client does deny the allegations in the warrant. He's recommended UJR level 3, so I'd ask for a signature bond through pretrial services so that he can get back to running his business, taking care of his children.
Okay, let's see if we can, if Mr. Begwa is back on. Okay, I think someone's attempting, so let's give them a moment. Okay, Mr. Begwa, are you back on the line? Give her like one more minute and then I will enter my ruling. And you said you did speak with her, Mr. Ty. Had the state spoken to her as well, Mr. Walker?
Let me check, Your Honor. I believe so. Let me see what the notes.
All right, there you are. Please raise your right hand. Do you swear and affirm the testimony you give today will be the truth to the best of your knowledge and under the penalty of perjury?
Yes.
All right, you can put your hand down. Again, I'm most concerned with any concerns you have for your safety and your desires for contact, but in light of those instructions, what would you like to tell me?
Well, I don't recall speaking to the gentleman earlier who said that I was asking for no contact or whatnot. So I was just clarifying that.
Okay, so do you have concerns for, I'm asking you directly,
No,
not to
I don't have
clarify
any
what you
concerns
said.
for my safety. No.
Okay. All right, is there anything else you want to tell me?
No, ma'am, that's it.
Okay. All right, anything further for Mr. Walker or Mr. Ty?
Nothing
To be
further.
clear, I never said I spoke with the victim. Actually, the state was asking for
I
no contact.
I know,
Yeah,
I
just
know.
okay.
Yeah, I know. All right, that's well understood. All right, let's see. Defendant is gonna receive a $2,500 shirt. Did they request to stay away, Mr. Walker? That part
It
wasn't
did.
clear.
It did. Yes.
Okay. All right. At this time, this defendant will receive a $2,500 surety bond. He's to have no contact with the alleged victim and stay away from that incident location. Additionally, he's to have no drugs, alcohol, or weapons as a condition. Is there anything additional? All right. Hearing none. Best of luck to you, Mr. Gray. We'll move to the next case now.
Thank you, ma'am. The next order is going to be position number 5, Mr. Hicks. Position number 5.
All right, Mr. Hicks, good afternoon. Your case is 24 CR 000-308B. You're charged for theft by receiving and driving while your license was suspended. Do you understand your rights?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
All right, Ms. Jackson, can I have the history, please?
He has 8 cycles. The last arrest was November the 17th, 2023 in Clayton County for a probation violation. He does appear to be on probation in Clayton County for theft by receiving stolen property and receipt, possession, or transport of a firearm by a convicted felon or felony first offender. That disposition date was May the 11th, 2018, and the term is for 6 years. Also, he appears to have open probation cases in Fulton County, one for obstruction of an officer. That case number is 23 CR 00393 and the letter D. That disposition date was November the 16th, 2023, and the term is for 12 months. And he does appear to have an additional open probation case for criminal attempt to commit burglary and 2 counts of criminal damage to property in the 2nd degree. That case number is 19 SC 165039. That disposition date was October the 10th, 2019. Confinement 1 year, probation 4 years. He does also appear to have an outstanding hold out of Jonesboro, Georgia for a probation violation. The date on that warrant is September the 17th, 2021. And he did receive first offender treatment in 2018 for robbery. That case was sealed March the 30th, 2013. And he does appear to meet the criteria for UJRA level 3 with a 79% chance of appearing for court and a 65% chance of remaining arrest-free. Nothing in addition, Your Honor.
All right, thank you, Mr. Walker.
Yes, Your Honor. The defendant was pulled over for driving a stolen vehicle. It was a white Nissan Altima that was reported stolen by the owner, Mr. Terrell Digby. Also, the defendant was driving while his license was suspended. There currently is a $10,000 surety bond on the theft by receiving count. I believe it's a $1,000 surety bond on the suspended license. With his history, I think the bond should remain as said. I think that speaks for itself. And I think he's on probation for theft by receiving, or theft by taking already. So,
all right, thank you. Mr. Cook, is this your client?
Yes, Your Honor. We would ask that Mr. Hicks be given a signature only bond at whatever level the court deems appropriate.
Okay. Anything additional?
Nothing.
All right. Defendant will receive a $5,000 surety bond, $4,000 on the theft by receiving, and $1,000 on the driving offense. He is not to drive unless he has a valid license issued by the Georgia DDS, and he's to have no alcohol, no drugs, and no weapons as a condition. Is there anything additional? All right. We have hearing none. Best of luck to you, Mr. Hicks. That concludes your case. Who do we have next?
Next is going to be position number 6, Mr. Hunter.
All right, Mr. Hunter, your case is 24 CR 00309J. In this case, you're charged with criminal trespass. You understand, right?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Can I have the history, please, Ms. Jackson?
The last arrest was December the 3rd, 2021 in Douglas County for theft by taking. He does appear to be on probation in Douglas County for theft by taking. That disposition date was November 14th, 2023, and the term is for 12 months. He does have prior felony convictions, one in 2013 out of New York for robbery, one in 2009 out of New York for possession of controlled substance. And he appears to meet the criteria for a UJR level 2 with an 84% chance of appearing for court and a 71% chance of remaining arrest-free. Nothing in addition, Your Honor.
Thank you, Mr. Walker.
Yeah, sure. In this case, law enforcement was dispatched to 634 Whitehall, where they spoke with the victim, Ms. Jessica Steels. She is the wife or the spouse of the defendant. They were having some type of verbal disagreement, where he threatened to stab her, but then he proceeded to stab her tires. I believe that there was not a third party present, and that's why there's no felony or a terroristic threat charge, which to the count of criminal trespass for stabbing her tires. We are asking for a $2,000 surety bond. No contact with Ms. Steels and a stay away. I'm not sure if I said the address, but it's 634 Whitehall. And I believe she may be on the line.
I see Ms. Dales. If you'd like to make a statement very briefly, Ms. Dales, because it's a trespass charge, please raise your right hand and unmute your screen. All right, do you swear and affirm the testimony you give today will be the truth to the best of your knowledge under the penalty of perjury?
Yes.
All right, you put your hand down. Again, I'm most concerned with whether you desire to have any contact with the defendant and any concerns you have for your safety.
I have no concern for my safety, and I don't want to stay away charge because me and my husband do live together, and he's the provider of this family.
All right. All right. At this time, Mr. Cook, I'm inclined to give him the SOB through pretrial and require an anger awareness course with no further violent contact with the victim. Do you have any objection to that or anything you'd like to add?
Nothing else, Your Honor. What level would that be?
Level 2 as recommended by Ms. Jackson.
And
All right.
One day anger awareness?
Yes. I'll announce it since you have no objection. Defendant is going to receive an $8,000 signature bond through pretrial. He is to take the 1-day anger awareness course, and that level will be level 2. He is to have no further violent contact with the alleged victim and have no alcohol, no drugs, or no weapons. Is there anything additional?
Yeah.
All right, that's the book. If you have
I'm
a question,
sorry.
you should.
Yes, I just wanted to know. So the signature bond is that he
Okay,
don't need.
if you have questions, reach out to Mr. Cook. I'm letting him sign his own bond, okay? And I do appreciate if you have concerns, but
Thank
please
you. Go ahead.
contact his attorney. Thank you. All right, we have a long calendar. Take care. Best of luck to you both. All right, who do we have next?
We're going to go to position number 7, Mr. Antonio Key. Hey, fellas, they can't talk.
All right, Mr. Key, your case is 24 CR 00310E. I missed a zero somewhere. In this case, you're charged with battery family violence with the offense date of December the 29th. You understand your rights?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Ms. Jackson?
Last arrest was, he has a total of 18 cycles. The last arrest was July the 13th, 2018 in Arkansas for assault in the 3rd degree. There was no disposition for that arrest. He does have one prior felony that was in 1992 for possession of controlled substance. And there's one misdemeanor conviction that was in 1999 for deposit account fraud. He does appear to meet the criteria for UJR level 2 with a 79% chance of appearing for court and a 71% chance of remaining arrest-free. Nothing in addition.
Thank you, Ms. Jackson. Mr. Walker?
Yes, Sean. In this case, law enforcement was dispatched to 5269 Estates Drive, where they spoke with the victim, Ms. Angel Key. From my understanding, that she is the daughter of the defendant. They were having a verbal disagreement, I believe, about gas money. at which time the defendant became irate. He did punch the victim several times. The warrant even states that he mounted her and continued to punch her as he was sitting on top of her. These are very concerning facts. We have had contact with the victim, Ms. Key. She stated that she actually had to get stitches due to this attack. The state is asking for a $3,000 surety bond, no contact with Ms. Angel Key, a stay away from the incident location, no weapons, drugs, and alcohol while out on bond.
Okay, and
We
the alleged,
have had contact, and she does not want to have contact with her father.
okay, the alleged victim is not a minor,
No.
making sure. I have to ask.
Yeah.
All right, I'm sounding for Ms. Key at this time. Is Ms. Key present on this Zoom conference and wishes to make a statement? And I don't see anyone with that name. All right, Mr. Cook, please proceed.
Yes, Your Honor, it's my understanding that Ms. Key no longer lives at this address, and we have no problem with no contact. We would like him to be able to go back to his home, or if he can't go back, to get a one-time LEO visit. But we believe once he returns, he will be able to establish that Angel Key no longer lives there, and he should be allowed to move in full time.
All right.
And Your Honor, we have had contact with the victim. That's incorrect. She stated that her father has locked her out since this incident. She still lives there. Her belongings are still there. So the defendant will need a one-time escort.
Well, we'll still do the LEO and we can ascertain if the victim is still residing there.
Well,
He must stay away.
She's not there because he's currently locked her out, but all of her belongings are there and she wants to return. And she has resided there up until the point of this attack. So he's essentially, just criminally trespassing as far as locking another tenant of your home out of the property, which is what has occurred in this case.
Okay. There's not a whole lot I can do about that.
You can't impose a stay away, so she can return to
I
her.
could. I'm gonna leave. Oh, I understand the concern. All right. At this time, defendant is gonna receive a $1,500 surety bond. He is to have no further contact with the alleged victim, Ms. Key. He's to stay away from the address if Ms. Key is still residing there. I understand that there may be some concerns and confusion. I will allow him to return one time with law enforcement to get any items. If she is still there and the determination is that she is intending to reside in that place, wait a minute. Ms. Key is not on this Zoom conference.
No, but we have had contact with her, and she said that she has had no access to her belongings since this incident has happened. She was residing there prior to this incident. She was residing there the day of this incident. And this is just another form of abuse to lock a victim out of their home. That was their family home, and that's where she resides. She's just been
I'm gonna leave it as is. I understand there's some concerns, but I'm sure we can figure that out. He can return one time with law enforcement to ascertain that she's not there. If she is there, he must stay away. If she's not, if she has moved out of the residence, then he can return. Additionally, he's to have no drugs, alcohol, or weapons as a condition. Is there anything additional?
I just have a practical question. How are we supposed to obtain if she's there or not when I just told you he's locked her out?
But I said if her items are still there, the officer could walk through and make that determination that she has not effectively moved from the residence. Okay, so I'm not gonna do that today, Mr. Walker. If she had come here and said that, I would have listened to that a little bit differently. She's not here today. So I understand there's some concerns, but I know we can all figure this out at a later date or perhaps at state of purpose. All right.
It's my understanding that the mother is in the home. So if anybody's controlling the locks from the inside, it's the mom. My client.
We're gonna leave it as is. I understand there are some concerns, and as a mother, I can appreciate the difficulty of this situation as well. But we're gonna leave that. All right. Best of luck to all parties concerned, and thanks to both for great advocacy on behalf of your respective clients. All right, who do we have next?
Next, you got position number 9, Your Honor, is Mr. Mitchell.
All right, Mr. Mitchell, your case is 24 CR 000303F. Got it right that time. In that case, you're charged with battery, family violence. Do you understand your rights?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Ms. Jackson, can I have Mr. Mitchell to three?
He does not have any prior arrest on file. He appears to meet the criteria for UJR through the jail with a 91% chance of appearing for court and an 87% chance of remaining arrest-free. Nothing in addition, Your Honor.
Thank you, Ms. Jackson. Mr. Pierre Thomas, please proceed.
Good evening, Your Honor. Brief facts of the case is that the officer responded to a domestic dispute at the incident location, that being 49 Boulevard, Southeast Atlanta, Georgia, here in Fulton County, Georgia. When the officer approached the door, he could hear loud arguing that was occurring. The officer made contact with both the victim and the defendant in this case in the doorway, fighting over the possession of a game system. The defendant himself admitted to putting his fingers in the victim's face, antagonizing her during the verbal argument. The defendant also admitted to putting his hands on the victim, causing a laceration under her right eye. The victim also complained of a wrist pain. Our office has been able to get in contact with the victim. She advised that her and the defendant are in a relationship. However, they do not live together. They share no children together. The victim stated that the incident location is her residence. The victim advised that I'm sorry, one moment. The victim advised that she may be on the call today, so if we could sound for her in accordance with Marcy's law. Her name is Regina, Regina. Last name Ravine, Riven. The recommendation from the state, given the limited criminal history, is a signature bond through the pretrial services, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons, no contact with the victim, a stay away from that incident location, and the completion of a family violence intervention program. Nothing further to add from the state at this time.
All right, I'm sounding for Ms. Ravine. If you are present and wish to make a statement, please turn your camera on, raise your right hand. Do you swear and affirm the testimony you give today will be the truth to the best of your knowledge and under the penalty of perjury?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you've heard my instructions before. I am most concerned with any concerns you personally have for your safety and your desires for contact. In light of those instructions, what would you like to tell me?
I am not concerned for my safety whatsoever, and I have no problem with contact if need be. He was staying here, so I think that was misunderstood. This was his place of residence, but before the incident occurred.
Okay. All right, Mr. Cook, anything to add to the record? I'm inclined to give him a signature bond through pretrial. You're muted, Mr. Cook. We can't hear you.
Yes, Your Honor, signature bond through pretrial is acceptable. We think the family violence intervention program's a little far. We would have a problem with the 1-day anger awareness.
All right. Defendant will receive a $5,000 signature bond through pretrial services per judge, level 1. He is to take the 1-day anger awareness course and have no further violent contact with the alleged victim. Additionally, he's to have no drugs, no alcohol, and no weapons as a condition. Is there anything additional?
Nothing further from the state, Your Honor.
Nothing.
All right, best of luck to you, Mr. Mitchell. Can we do the interpreter case now?
That's what I was gonna say, Your Honor.
Thank you. Is that position 8?
Position 12.
Oh, okay. My apologies. All right. Is Miss Chancey? Miss Chancey's back on the line. I see Miss Chancey. Miss Kim is here. There's Miss Kim.
Yes.
All right. The screen scrambled. You can't always see. All right. We will now take up the case of 24 CR 0000296C, in which Ramon Pina is charged with loitering and prowling.
Vamos a tomar el caso 24CR00296C, en donde Ramón Peña tiene un cargo por haraganear, vagabundear.
Mr. Pena, you have an absolute right to remain silent. Anything you say, canon will be used against you.
Señor, usted puede mantener silencio, todo lo que diga puede y va a ser usado en su contra.
You have a right to an attorney, and Ms. Kim is available to represent you today.
También tiene el derecho de tener un abogado que lo represente, y la señorita Kim está representándolo aquí hoy.
This proceeding is being conducted over the internet as a live stream.
Esta audiencia está siendo llevada a medida de a distancia.
It's also being recorded.
También está siendo grabado.
It means any member of the public can log on and watch this.
Lo que significa que cualquier miembro del público puede contactarse con esta audiencia.
Do you understand your rights and how I'm holding this hearing today?
¿Usted entiende sus derechos y cómo estoy llevando a cabo esta sesión hoy? I cannot hear you.
I can't hear. Is that a yes?
¿Eso es sí, señor? Yes.
All right, Miss Jackson, can we have his history, please?
Señora Jackson, por favor.
He has 2 cycles. The last arrest was May 26, 2016 in Cook County, Illinois.
Él tiene 2 ciclos, uno el 26 de mayo del 2016 en el condado de Cook, Illinois,
For no driver's license/permit
por manejar sin licencia o permiso.
and there was no disposition for that arrest.
Y no hubo una sentencia por ese arresto.
He does appear to meet the criteria for UJRA level 1 with an 84% chance of appearing for court and an 80% chance of remaining arrest-free. Nothing in addition.
Él está en una, parece que cumple el requisito de UJR por sus siglas en inglés, y tiene un 80% de inclinación a permanecer arrestado.
Your Honor, brief
All right.
fact of the case is that on December 9th, on January 9th, 2024, the officer responded to 554 Plymouth Lane in Alpharetta, Georgia, in reference to a defendant attempting to gain entrance to a residence and a parked car.
En lo que sí tengo como hechos declarados es que el 9 de enero del 2024 el acusado trató de entrar a un vehículo estacionado en la dirección de 554 Plymouth Lane. Is that the street address?
Yes, in Alpharetta, Georgia.
En Alpharetta, Georgia. Thank you.
You're welcome. The defendant was located in the driveway of the residence between one of the vehicles and a fence.
El acusado fue encontrado en la cochera de la residencia entre un vehículo y el cerco.
Once the defendant was taken into custody, it was said by one of the residents that they heard a loud noise and saw a screen was broken.
Una vez que se lo tomó bajo custodia al acusado, hubo una declaración de que un individuo escuchó una voz muy fuerte y se había roto la red o rejilla de una puerta.
One of the residents, Kelsey Kalma, Kelsiekama, stated that when she heard the noise, she saw the defendant moving around her vehicle in the driveway, so she called 911.
Una residente, Kelsey Emma, escuchó un ruido, fue su declaración, y vio al acusado moverse alrededor del vehículo y por eso ella llamó al 911.
The owner of the property, Travis Martin, advised that he wanted to press charges and that the repair to the window screen would be $75.
El demandante Travis Martin quiere presentar cargos y también la recuperación de $78 para la reparación de la puerta.
The defendant did not live at the location.
El acusado no vivía en esta dirección y, perdón, era una rejilla de la ventana.
Our office was able to get in contact with the owner of the residence, the victim, who stated that he is concerned because two females live there now, and he is unaware of what the defendant's intent was.
Cuando se lo contactó al demandante, él expresó que le preocupaba esta situación por el hecho de que en la residencia de él viven dos damas y ya que no se puede saber las intenciones de este acusado.
No one knows who the defendant is. However, the recommendation from the state is a signature bond through the jail.
Nadie sabe dónde vive este acusado y la fiscalía recomienda una fianza bajo firma.
No alcohol, drugs, or weapons. No contact with either victim, Travis Martin and Kelsey Kelma.
Y también que se queda prohibido el uso de drogas, alcohol y armas y el contacto también con los víctimas Travis Martin y Kelsey Kelma.
Let's stay away from that location, and if we could sound for the victims.
Y que se mantenga totalmente alejado de ese lugar y vamos a llamar a las víctimas.
I'm sorry, can we have the victims' names again?
So it's going to be Travis, Travis, Martin, traditional spelling, Martin, and Kelsey, Kelsie, Kalma, Kalma.
All right, I'm sounding for either of those parties. All right, hearing none. Ms. Kim, I am inclined to give your client a signature bond through the jail as recommended with a stay away.
Sounds great.
Señorita Kim, yo quiero darle una fianza bajo firma a través de la cárcel a su cliente y que quede la recomendación como ha sido declarada.
Any objection?
No
¿Objeción?
objection, Your Honor. He denies the allegation.
No tengo objeción. Él niega el alegato. Gracias.
All
I
right,
know you speak
defendant.
Spanish, but what about the no contact?
I didn't finish. I'm
Oh.
gonna put the whole thing on. Okay. Defendant is gonna receive a $7,000 signature bond through the jail.
El acusado se le otorga una fianza bajo firma de $7,000.
He is to have no contact with either of the named alleged victims.
Y no puede tener ningún contacto alguno con ninguna de las dos víctimas que se han nombrado.
He is to stay away from the incident location.
Tiene que mantenerse totalmente alejado del lugar donde ocurrió el incidente.
And he is to have no alcohol, no drugs, and no weapon.
Se prohíbe el uso de drogas, alcohol y armas.
Your Honor, will you break down that? He has two charges.
Oh, okay.
Tiene
My
dos
apologies.
cargos.
All right, it'll be 3,500 each count.
Thank you.
En vez de 7,000, hay otro cargo segundo y se va a dividir la fianza, 3,500 por cada uno.
All right, is there anything additional?
¿Algo más?
All right, best of luck to you, sir. That concludes your case.
Mucha suerte, señor. Esto termina su caso hoy.
Your Honor, I apologize. What was that bond amount?
It's 7,000 SOB through the jail, 3,500 each count.
Thank you. Next, we're gonna go to position number 10, Mr. Nimbalon.
All right, Ms. Chancey, will you sound? Okay, Ms. Chancey, before you go, will you sound and see if anyone else needs your assistance?
Yes, Your Honor. ¿Hay alguien que necesite un intérprete en español para hablar con la señora jueza? I just wanted to ask about position 8, Your Honor, Lopez Calderon.
He bonded out.
Okay. How about Juan Ochoa?
Juan Ochoa,
Okay.
I believe
He was admitted to a HAT program, so he's
Just to make sure that I don't leave without helping. Thank you, Your Honor. Have a good evening.
All right, bye-bye. Thank you, Ms.
You're
Chancey.
welcome, ma'am.
All right, we're taking up position 10 now, case 24 CR 0000295C, which Mr. Nibdalan, I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing it incorrectly, is charged with theft by taking. Do you understand your rights?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, can I have the history, Ms. Jackson?
He has 18 cycles. The last arrest was December the 15th, 2021 in Fulton County for a failure to appear. He does have misdemeanor convictions. Sworn in 2020 out of Doraville, Georgia for basic rules. In 2013, he received a nolo contendere sentence for possession of marijuana less than an ounce. And there was one in 2011 out of Clayton County for giving false information to an officer. He does appear to meet the criteria for UJRA level 2, with a 79% chance of appearing for court and a 71% chance of remaining arrest-free. Nothing in addition.
Your Honor, brief facts of the case is that on August 22nd, 2023, the defendant was captured on video entering the mailroom located at 3464 Roxborough Road, Northeast Atlanta, Georgia, in Fulton County, Georgia. The defendant was there seen obtaining his package, and then he somehow looked at another package, which was a small black cardboard box addressed to Mr. Anthony Seaman. Seaman spelled S-E-M-A-N. Anthony traditional spelling. The defendant then opened said box, looked and saw that it was a cell phone, and then exited the mailroom, taking the victim's Samsung Flip 5 cell phone and its case valued at $1,240 without consent. The defendant refused to return the phone after being contacted by the management or the manager, Sean Chris, at that location. Mr. Chris is familiar with the defendant as he lives at the apartment complex. The recommendation from the state, Your Honor, is a signature bond through the pretrial services, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons, no contact, and I'd say a stay away as well, but that's to this court's discretion. But if we could sound for Mr. Seaman in accordance with Marcy's law, that'd be greatly appreciated.
Is Mr. Seaman present? Okay. Mr. Cook, I'm inclined to give him a signature bond through pretrial level 2 with the conditions that he have no contact with the alleged victim. I'm not going to require the stay away, however. Is there anything, do you have any objections, Mr. Cook, or anything you want to put onto the record? All right. Defendant will receive.
I'm sorry, no objection. No, nothing further.
I read your lips. That's okay.
Thank you.
Defendant will receive a $5,000 signature bond through pretrial level 2. He is to have no contact with Mr. Seaman, and he is to have no alcohol, no drugs, and no weapons as a condition. Is there anything additional?
Nothing further from the state, Your Honor.
Nothing
All
else.
right. Best of luck to you, sir. That concludes your case. What do we have next?
Position 1 at ACDC.
All
Ms.
right.
Elam.
Has ACDC heard the right?
Yes, she did, Your Honor.
All right. Ms. Elam, your case is 24 CR 0000304C. You're charged with giving false information. Do you understand your rights?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Can I have the history, please, Ms. Jackson?
Yes, Your Honor. Is this position 1?
It is.
Okay. She has 22 cycles. The last arrest was December the 16th, 2023, and that was in Cherokee County for driving without a valid license and possession of methamphetamine and crossing state/county guard lines with weapons, intoxicants, and drugs without consent, and possession and use of drug-related objects. She does appear to have that open case pending in Cherokee County. Also, she appeared to have an open case pending in Cobb County for hit and run. Yes, and in addition to that, she does appear to be on probation in Cobb County for possession of Schedule 1 or 2 controlled substance. That disposition date was March the 25th, 2020. Confinement 1 year, probation 4 years. She also appears to be on probation in Cherokee County for possession of methamphetamine. That disposition date was December the 22nd, 2021, and the term is for 6 years. And she appears to have an outstanding hold out of Marietta, Georgia, for a probation violation. The date on that warrant was October the 13th, 2021. And there's one out of Canton, Georgia, for a probation violation. The date on that warrant was February the 9th, 2022. And she does have prior felony convictions. It's one in 2019 out of Cobb County for possession of Schedule 1 controlled substance. One in 2014 out of Cobb County for Schedule 1 controlled substance. She
I think
received
that's sufficient. Thank you, Ms. Jackson. I think that's fair. I appreciate it. All right, Mr. Walker.
Yes, the defendant gave a false name, I'm sure, because she has multiple warrants, but she gave the false name for Jessica Anderson. The state is asking for a signature bond through pretrial services. No weapons, drugs, or alcohol while out on bond.
All right, I'm inclined to grant that. Mr. Ty, any objection?
No objections, Your Honor.
All right, defendant will receive a $2,000 SOB through pretrial level 1. She's to have no weapons, drugs, or alcohol as a condition. Best of luck to Ms. Elam. That concludes your case. All right, who do we have next?
This is gonna be position number 11, Mr. Payne.
All right, Mr. Payne, your case is 24 CR 000301G. You're charged with possession of a revolver or pistol by someone under the age of 18. You understand your rights?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Ms. Jackson, can I have his history, please?
Yes, Your Honor. He does not have any prior arrest on file. He appears to meet the criteria for UJR level 1, with a 91% chance of appearing for court and an 80% chance of remaining arrest-free. That charge may be a restrictive.
I understand.
Nothing in addition, Your Honor.
All right. Ms. Thomas?
The facts of the case is that on January 10, 2024, the officer was in the area, or officers were in the area of MLK Drive Southwest and Lyndhurst Drive conducting surveillance at the Food Mart at 3102 Martin Luther King Drive, Martin Luther King Jr. Drive. This store had numerous violent crimes occur as the result of illegal narcotic activity, which caused the officers to be surveilling the store. Officers noticed a group of males and females that were gathered in the parking lot. The females began to argue with the males as if they wanted to fight. One of the particular males, identified in this case as the defendant, was acting irate due to the argument with the female. The defendant stepped away and clutched his waistband, which appeared to be holding a firearm. The officer kept surveilling the two groups for over 15 minutes. The two groups had multiple disputes and went back and forth to the parking lot. The defendant then at some point reached and was holding his waistband. After the dispute escalated, the officer witnessed the defendant on camera surveillance turn and blade his body, holding the handgun in his waistband. The officer saw the defendant walking on the sidewalk by the parking lot where the incident occurred. The officer stopped him to speak with him. The defendant stopped willingly and was asked if he had anything on him. The defendant immediately put his hands up, or put both of his hands up, and stated that he had an illegal firearm on him. The officer asked how old he was, and to which the defendant responded that he was 17 years old. Your Honor, the defendant is currently on a $600 surety bond. The state is compelled to request a $10,000 surety bond, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons, but as the court knows, that is completely within your discretion to make that decision.
All right, thank you. Ms. Kim?
Yes, Your Honor, my client is here. His mother, India Cunningham, who has raised her hand on the screen, is here at the Zoom hearing to support him, and she is willing to co-sign so that way he can get UJR pretrial level 1, Your Honor. He is only 17 years old. He's a senior in high school, and he's graduating this May 2024. He wants to start his own business, clothing brand, forming LLC, and he wants to graduate from his high school. I think it will be more beneficial for him to return to school instead of staying in the jail. We would like to request for signature on bond, and he plays the football, and that's about it, Your Honor. Thanks.
All right, defendant is going to receive a $2,500 surety bond. He's to have no alcohol, weapons, or drugs as a condition of that surety bond. And as a reminder, he'll be reset to state our purpose on January the 25th. All right, best of luck to you, Mr. Payne. Who do we have next?
We're gonna go to position 14, Mr. Timothy Porter.
All right, Mr. Porter, your case number is 24 CR 0000297A. In that case, you're charged with criminal trespass and damage to property. Do you understand your rights?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Ms. Jackson, can I have the history, please?
He has 17 cycles. The last arrest was May the 31st, 2023, with the City of Atlanta Police Department for driving without a valid license. There was no disposition for that arrest. He does have one prior felony conviction. Was in 1989 for financial transaction card fraud and possession of marijuana with the intent to distribute. He does have misdemeanor convictions and sentences. He did receive a nolo contendory sentence in 2012 out of College Park, Georgia, for driving while license suspended or revoked. And there was one in 2001 out of Woodfield County, Georgia, for driving while license suspended or revoked. One in 2001 out of Cobb County for possession of marijuana less than an ounce. He does appear to meet the criteria for a UJR, a level 2, with an 84% chance of appearing for court and a 71% chance of remaining arrest-free. Nothing in addition, Your Honor.
Your Honor, prior to court, I do believe that the defense attorney has shared something with the state that indicates that the witness or the victim in this case is unavailable. The recommendation from the state is a signature bond through the jail, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons, and a stay away. This is the allegation that he broke two of his sister's apartment windows after being refused money. And the stay away location would be 512 Lindsay Street, Northwest Atlanta, Georgia, in Fulton County, Georgia.
Okay, and the witness is, the victim is not present, doesn't wish to make a statement?
She's, according to the information that was shared, she's deceased.
Oh, all right. My apologies.
Yeah.
All right, at this time, defendant will receive a $4,000 signature bond through the jail with a stay away from that location. No alcohol, no drugs, weapons. All right, is there anything additional, Mr. Thomas or Ms. Kim?
No, nothing further.
Nothing further from the state, Your Honor.
All right. All right, best of luck to you, sir. That concludes this case. Who do we have next?
I never have. Your Honor, we got position number 15, Mr. Brandon Walker. What was the bond amount for Mr. Porter?
$4,000 signature bond.
1,000?
Four. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Thank you. No, you can't say
Thank you. We're at position 14. I'm sorry, what position are we on now?
It's gonna be number 15, Mr. Brandon
Oh,
Walker.
thank you. I'm sorry. Mr. Walker, your case is 24 CR 0000299G. In this case, you are charged with simple battery family violence. You understand your rights? All right, Ms. Jackson, can I have the history, please?
He has 7 cycles. The last arrest was June the 4th, 2023 in Turner County, Georgia, for driving while license suspended or revoked. There was no disposition for that arrest. He does appear to have an open case pending in Fulton County for battery, family violence, and cruelty to children in the 3rd degree, and 2 counts. That case number is 21 CR 006081 and the letter G. He does have misdemeanor convictions, 1 misdemeanor conviction and a sentence. It's one in 2013 out of Douglasville, Georgia, a local ordinance. And he received a nolo contendory sentence in 2012 out of Douglas County for possession of marijuana less than an ounce. He does appear to meet the criteria for a UJR level 3, with a 79% chance of appearing for court and a 65% chance of remaining arrest-free. Nothing in addition, Your Honor.
All right, thank you, Mr. Thomas.
Your Honor, facts of the case is that on October 9, 2023, the officer responded to 1076 Mason Turner Road, Northwest Atlanta, Georgia, in Fulton County, Georgia, on a fight call. The victim told the police that her children's father, the defendant, had assaulted her. She stated that she was preparing the children for daycare and they began arguing. She stated that when he got up, he started to knock over chairs. She also stated that when she turned her back, he attempted to knock something out of her hand and he struck her on the chin with his arm. She did not sustain any injuries, however. The victim and the defendant lived together at the location and share 3 kids together. Your Honor, our office has not been able to get in contact with the victim, so if we could sound for her in accordance with Marcy's law, that'd be greatly appreciated. Her name is listed as Joannie, Joannie Hood, Hood. Your Honor, I'd just like to bring your attention to that 2021 battery family violence open case with the cruelty to children. It's the same victim. It's Miss Hood. He received a $3,000 surety bond and was ordered to have no contact by Judge Law in that case, to which he's obviously violated. And so with that being said, the state is concerned for the victim's safety and well-being and his ability to adhere to orders that are given by the court. And so we'd be asking for a $2,000 surety bond, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons, no contact with Ms. Hood, a stay away from that incident location, and the completion of a family violence intervention program. And if we could sound for Ms. Hood in accordance with Marcy's law. Thank you very much, Your Honor.
All right, is Ms. Hood present and wishes to make a statement? And I don't see anyone with that name, so Ms. Kim, please proceed.
Yes, Your Honor, my client has no objection to stay away and no further contact with Miss Hood. Your Honor, he has 8 minor children aging from 1 to 13. So it is very important for him to work, return back to work so that way he can continuously pay for those 8 children. He pays a significant amount of money for child support and those kids rely on him. And Your Honor, he is working with his father, working on air conditioning. He graduated from high school. He does not have any drug or alcohol issues or any MH issues. He denies the allegation. This happened. I mean, this incident date was apparently October 9, 2023, but he does not have, he says there was no such thing. And we would like to request for signature on bond and pretrial level 3. Thank you.
All right, defendant will receive a $2,500 surety bond. He's to have no contact with the alleged victim and stay away from that address. Additionally, he's to have no drugs, no alcohol, or no weapons as a condition. Is there anything additional?
Can we please have a third-party transfer for those 3 children are sharing with Ms. Hood?
Yes, he can arrange transport of the children by coordinating with a third party.
Nothing
And also
additional from Ms. Hood.
one-time law enforcement officer to retrieve each person's belongings. They
All
have to
right.
live together.
All right, he can have that one-time law enforcement escort, but honestly, he should not have been there, consistent with that last order from Judge Law. So, all right, I will give him the one-time LEO though. All right.
Yeah.
Best of luck, sir. That concludes your case.
Next, we're gonna go to position number 16, Mr. Zachariah Williams.
All right, Mr. Williams, your case is 24 CR 00298. I'm sorry, 0000298A. You're charged with criminal trespass and damage to property. Do you understand your rights?
Yeah.
You do? All right, thank you. Let's see, Ms. Jackson.
He has 14 cycles. The last arrest was July the 22nd, 2022 in Clayton County for simple battery and obstruction of an officer and possession of marijuana and criminal trespassing. He does have 1 prior felony conviction. It was in 2009 out of Louisiana for possession of marijuana with the intent to distribute. And he does have misdemeanor convictions. Sworn in 2023 out of Clayton County for obstruction of an officer and criminal trespassing and simple battery. He received a suspended sentence. Sworn in 2020 for disorderly conduct. And he does appear to meet the criteria for a UJR level 3 with a 79% chance of appearing for court and 65% chance of remaining arrest-free. Nothing in addition.
Got a very
All
brief,
right.
my
Go ahead.
apologies. Very brief facts is that
proceed.
the defendant was vandalizing a vehicle, a 2008 Nissan Titan truck with a shovel. The vehicle was owned by his father, both parties live together. His father was actually, I guess, on first appearance earlier this morning for an aggravated assault out of the same incident. And I think a criminal damage to property, if I'm not mistaken. The recommendation from the state, and if I could just give you the indicia for that before going forward, it's the 2019 interference with government property conviction. It's the 2020, we heard about the 2020 disorderly conduct conviction. And in that 2023 conviction, that simple battery was against a police officer. He actually received, as she stated, 12 months suspended. So he would have been on probation at this time when he committed this offense. So the recommendation is a signature bond through the pretrial services, level 3, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons, no contact with the victim in this case, Kersey, Kirsey Williams, who is his father, and we'd be strongly asking for that anger management as there is a proven, I guess, chain of events that proves that he needs some assistance.
All right, and I'm sorry, what was that suggested amount, Mr. Thomas?
I don't necessarily give suggested amounts
Okay.
of signature bonds here.
Understood. All right, Ms. McLeod, any objection?
No, Your Honor, no objection to the signature bond, but we do have an objection to the no further contact. This is his father. He tells me that both of his parents are quite elderly and he does not want to be in a situation where something goes wrong with his dad or his mom and he's unable to go and see them. So he would prefer no further violent contact, Your Honor.
And as it relates to that, Your Honor, I specifically chose not to put the stay away in because I do understand the things and I do recognize that the father probably got a no further contact. And so I think I'd be okay with the no further violent contact.
All right, understood. All right, at this time, defendant will receive a $5,000 signature bond through pretrial services. He is to have no further violent contact with the alleged victim and have no alcohol, drugs, or weapons. And I'm sorry, that will be level 1 that I'll require. Is there anything additional?
Nothing further, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right, best of luck to you, Mr. Williams. That concludes your case.
Can I say something?
No,
No.
you're getting a signature bond. Do not say anything else, okay?
Your Honor, did
All
you say
right.
anger awareness? Did you require that?
I didn't for a
Okay.
criminal trespass.
Thank you.
Thank you, though, Ms. Bridgewater.
You're welcome.
Can I say something?
All right.
I guess we're gonna go to the waiver case, Your Honor, position number 13, Mr. Kevin.
What about position 2? Was there an announcement for position 2?
Bond paid.
Oh, he bonded out? Okay.
That's correct.
And position 8 is also that's a pad referral? Is that why we're not doing position 8?
I think they were released.
No, bond paid,
Okay.
position 8.
Yeah.
Okay, position 8 was released. All right, so we will do the waive case. And Ms. Kim has requested a breakout first for some other concerns unrelated to the charge. So can I be placed in a breakout, please? With Ms. Kim, sure, Mr. Walker, Mr. Thomas, and Mr. Cook perhaps may wants to come, and Mr. Ty.
Yes, please.
I believe SG Denise might want to be in. as well.
Okay,
As she
that's fine. for CR 0003076. You're charged with battery family violence. You understand, right? All right, I just want to make sure that there is no one at courtroom 2. Is that correct? Okay, can we turn off the live stream, please?